No one knows exactly when the bus stopped moving, or why it was left there, but for years, it sat hidden inside the bush, rotting, silent, forgotten. Until one night, someone saw a light inside. And that's when everything changed. Because this wasn't just an abandoned bus anymore. It had become a home for people who didn't want to be found. Deep off a rarely used road, far from noise, far from attention, there's a stretch of land most people avoid. Not because it's dangerous, but because it feels wrong. Hidden inside that overgrown bush, barely visible unless you know where to look, is a rusted, broken down bus. Locals say it's been there for years. Too long for anyone to remember when it arrived. No license plate, no clear owner, no explanation. At first, it was just part of the environment. Until it wasn't. It started with small things, easy to ignore. Footprints in the dirt, leading toward the bus. Trash that looked recent. Food containers that hadn't been there before. And then, one evening, a woman passing nearby noticed something strange. The curtains inside the bus moved, but there was no wind. She didn't stop. She didn't look again. But the next day, she told others, and that's when the whispers began. People started sharing stories. Some said they heard voices at night. Others claimed they saw figures moving inside. One man swore he saw someone standing in the doorway, watching him. But the moment he looked directly, they were gone. Then came the story that changed everything. A young man, walking home late at night, took a shortcut through the bush. As he passed the bus, he heard something. A voice. Clear. Close. "Don't move." He froze. Then another voice, from deeper inside. "Did he see us?" That was enough. He ran, and he never used that path again. By now, fear had taken over. People stopped going near the area entirely. But from a distance, you could still see the bus. And something about it had changed. It didn't look abandoned anymore. Not completely. The broken windows were partially covered. The door, slightly adjusted. And at night, there were lights. Not constant, but enough to confirm one thing. Someone was inside. Eventually, concern turned into action. A report was made. Authorities were called. At first, even they didn't expect much. Just an empty vehicle. Maybe squatters. But when they approached the bus, something felt off. Too quiet. Too still. Then they stepped inside. And what they found was far worse than anyone imagined. Carefully, mattresses laid across the floor. Bottles, bags, clothes, weapons, knives hidden beneath seats, suspicious items scattered throughout, and signs that multiple people had been living there for a long time. This wasn't just a shelter. It was a base, a place to hide, to plan, to disappear. As the investigation continued, the truth became clearer. The bus wasn't just occupied. It was being used, connected to thefts in nearby areas, possibly used as a temporary escape point. A location no one would suspect. Because who would think that something so obvious could hide something so dangerous? After the discovery, the bus was cleared out. Everything removed. Everything documented. And eventually, left behind again. But this time, people knew. And once you know something like that, you can't forget it. Even now, locals avoid that part of the bush. Not because they think someone is still there, but because of what wasn't. The bus is empty now. At least, that's what they say. But if you walked past it tonight and looked inside, would you really be alone? If you made it this far, you already know this wasn't just a story. Make sure to subscribe for more real cases like this. And tell me in the comments, would you dare step inside that bus? They cleared the bus, removed everything, collected the evidence, and walked away thinking it was over. But they were wrong, because something was still there, something they didn't see. And the worst part, it didn't want to be found. Weeks after the discovery, the area was supposed to be safe again. No more activity, no more lights, just silence. But then, a local farmer passing nearby noticed something strange. The bus door was open. That wasn't possible. Authorities had sealed it. No one was supposed to be there anymore. At first, people assumed it was nothing. Maybe animals, maybe someone curious. But then more signs appeared. Fresh footprints, deep, heavy, recent. And this time, they didn't just lead into the bus. They circled it, like someone had been watching, waiting. Two young men, ignoring the warnings, decided to check it out. They brought a flashlight, phones ready, laughing at the rumors. Until they got close, the air felt different. thicker, quiet in a way that didn't feel natural. Then, they heard something, a slow, dragging sound. From inside, they froze. One of them whispered, "Did you hear that?" And then, the sound stopped. They should have left, but they didn't. One of them stepped closer, shining the light into the bus. At first, nothing, just darkness. Then, something moved, fast, too fast to clearly see. The flashlight shook, and in that brief second, they both saw it. Not clearly, not fully, but enough. Someone, or something, was still inside. They didn't wait, didn't speak, didn't think. They ran, branches snapping, breath heavy, heart racing, and behind them, they swear they heard footsteps, following, not close enough to catch them, but close enough to remind them they weren't alone. When the story spread, authorities returned, this time, more careful, more thorough. They searched every inch of the bus, every corner, every panel, every hidden space. And then, they found it. A concealed compartment, hidden beneath the floor. Easy to miss, unless you knew where to look. Inside the compartment, there were items that didn't belong. Not just tools, not just supplies, but things that suggested someone had been hiding there. Even during the first investigation, listening, waiting, avoiding detection, which meant one thing. When authorities thought the bus was empty, it wasn't. Someone was still inside. The entire time. After that discovery, the bus was removed completely, taken away, destroyed, erased. But the questions never disappeared. Who was hiding there? How long had they been watching? And most importantly, where did they go? Some say, places like that don't stay empty for long, because once something finds a perfect hiding place, it doesn't forget it. If this part unsettled you, you're not ready for what comes next. Subscribe now, because next part gets even darker. And tell me, do you think someone is still out there? They thought destroying the bus would end it. No more hiding place, no more secrets, no more fear. But they didn't realize something important. The bus was never the problem. It was what was inside it. And now, it was gone. After the bus was removed, the area felt different. Too open, too exposed. At first, people felt relieved. No more whispers, no more lights at night. But that relief didn't last. Because within days, reports started coming in again. Not from the bush, from somewhere else. The same signs, footprints appearing where no one had walked, strange noises late at night, people feeling watched, for no reason. But this time, there was no bus, no structure, no place to point to and say, "It's coming from there," which made it worse. Because now, it could be anywhere. Then someone noticed something chilling. The reports were spreading. What started near the bush was now happening farther away, closer to homes, closer to people. It wasn't staying in one place anymore. It was moving. And whatever had been hiding inside that bus was no longer hiding. One final account changed everything. A man living not far from the area woke up in the middle of the night. No sound, no reason, just a feeling, like someone was there, watching him. He sat up slowly, heart pounding. And then, he saw it. Not clearly, not fully, but a shape, standing in the corner of his room. Still, silent. He reached for the light, and the moment it turned on, it was gone. After that night, he reported everything, and when investigators looked deeper, they found something disturbing. The same patterns, the same behavior, the same timing. Everything matched what had been happening at the bus, which led to one terrifying conclusion. Whatever was inside that bus had never been trapped there. The bus was just where it chose to stay, and once it was removed, it didn't disappear. It adapted, moved, blended in, no longer confined to a single place, no longer predictable. Which means, there was never just one location to avoid. There was never just one place that was unsafe. Because now, it could be anywhere. Think about it. For years, it stayed hidden, watching, learning, waiting. And when its hiding place was taken away, it didn't panic. It didn't stop. It simply moved closer. What if the reason people started noticing it more is because it wanted to be noticed? Right now, wherever you are, take a second, look around. Because the people who saw it all said the same thing. They didn't notice it at first, until it moved. If you made it to the end, you've just followed a story that didn't really end. Subscribe, because the next story might be even closer than this one. And comment below, what would you do if you saw it?